Tinubu lauds Dangote's diesel price cut foresees economic relief. Nigeria will become a major global economic force under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, says Vice President Shatima. World Bank warns Nigeria adheres to strengthen tax base. And the Central Bank of Nigeria announces decline in loan-to-deposit ratio to 50%, just as oil inches up after U.S. reimposes Venezuela oil sanctions, and Asia markets climbed across the board after S&P and Nasdaq fall for fourth straight day. The program is Business Express, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Benny Adams, your guide. And now talking business, the World Bank says more than 500 million people in sub-Saharan Africa are at the risk of being left out of access to electricity by 2030. What will it take to achieve energy access for the continent? This is what leaders in Africa are meeting in Washington, D.C. to answer. Moplang Dakok has that report.
The world faces energy crisis, but leaders here say Africa is where the energy access battle will be won or lost. The World Bank, with other partners, is deploying innovative financial and technical solutions for accelerating electrification for the continent.
But I'm going to be very focused on KPIs and measuring and ensuring that our corporate scorecard will show the output of these commitments, the output of these efforts, the output of the funding, the output of the work with government. So I'm kind of focused on getting it done.
Representatives from Nigeria are expectant.
Look, energy is like blood inside of your body, right? You got blood, you live. Economies thrive on energy, right? There's a direct correlation between the GDP growth you're going to have with the amount of energy you are able to develop.
In Keto Electric today, we're already partnering with about 17 off-grid solution providers, and I know a lot of the other utilities in Nigeria are doing same. And so it's a focus for Nigeria, it's a focus for the government, and if we do this collaboratively, we will achieve that objective.
Discussions focused on what it will take to scale up the solutions and investments that will help connect millions and transform African economies. African leaders today at Energizing Africa believe that the energy challenges of the continent are multifaceted and need collaboration.
And now still on conversations in Washington, D.C., global central banks have agreed to begin cutting interest rates in the second half of this year. While that is in the offing, Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Kaduso, has vowed to ensure that Nigeria has a market that operates on its own and doesn't need defending. Moplang Dako again reports that the CBN governor, who spoke on crystallizing change in reforming monetary policy in Nigeria at the IMF and World Bank meetings in Washington, D.C., also assured participants that not having foreign exchange liquidity will soon be a thing of the past in Nigeria, as the Apex Bank will ensure sufficient liquidity in the forex market.
I think between yesterday and today, we had about 600 million US that came into the reserves account. So I wouldn't let people get too excited about this thing. All I will say is that we are looking towards ensuring that we have a market that operates on its own, willing buyer, willing seller, and price discovery. That's where we're going to. The shifts you've seen in our reserves has really, little or nothing to do with defending any naira, and that's certainly not our objective.
And on the issue of inflation, the governor says the global inflation falls, monetary and fiscal sides in Nigeria are also collaborating to tame inflation.
Over the course of the past 6 months, we've traded up to $1 billion.
This is FX liquidity.
Yes. So the FX liquidity has certainly, taken a center stage, quite frankly, in the activities of the monetary side. And I think people see that. They see the exchange rate coming down. They understand that, or we continue to talk about the fact that the pass-through, there's a lag. But ultimately, the objective is to ensure we can moderate inflation.
Now, President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday applauded Dangote Oil and Gas Limited for reducing the gantry price of automotive gas oil, also known as diesel, from 1,650 naira to 1,000 naira per litre. The Dangote Group recently reviewed downwards the gantry price of AGO from 1,650 naira to 1,000 naira per litre for a minimum of 1 million litres of the product, as well as providing a discount of 30 naira per litre for an offtake of 5 million litres and above. Special advisor on media and publicity to the president, Ajuri Ngilali, says President Tinubu has affirmed that Nigerians and domestic businesses are the nation's surest transport and security to economic prosperity, describing the move as an enterprising feat, adding that the price review represents a 60% drop, which will in no small measure impact the prices of sundry goods and services. Now, the federal government says youth empowerment through digital skills acquisition for sustainable job creation in Nigeria remains key to the growth and development of the country. Minister of State for Youth Development, Ayodele Olawande, stated this during an interaction with a delegation from the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, Senior Executive Course 46 on study tour to the ministry. Olanka Ojo has the details.
Youth unemployment and empowerment are the most pressing issues confronting world leaders in the 21st century, with negative implications for economic and social progress. Nigeria is no exception, and it is to address this issue, among other things, that this delegation from the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPS, Senior Executive Course 46, are on a fact-finding mission. Their aim is to understand the issues and challenges the ministry faces in addressing issues around digital economy, youth empowerment, and sustainable job creation for Nigerian youths.
The youth are our competitive advantage. We have a large number of youth. They are very restless, they are very knowledgeable, and people tap on their experience, on their knowledge when they go outside. So why can't we internalize our strengths? We want to see how what they're doing can be improved upon in order to provide the youth with sustainable jobs for sustenance.
With funding, collaborations, engagements, monitoring and evaluation of success stories at the heart of youth development, Minister of State for Youth Development says one of the most promising solutions to youth unemployment is the intentional and systematic acquisition of digital skills. He explains that it is vital to all sectors of the economy and offers a competitive advantage for employment, self-reliance, and sustainable wealth creation in today's world.
It will be a crime for any youth not to have a skill. The youth of this country must have at least 2 skills that can and that will and that we think is going to transform to one local government, one product. And what are the products we are talking about? We are not talking about Dangote refinery, we are not talking about that and that, we are talking about cottage and agricultural industry.
The outcome of the visit will enable participants formulate policies for government, which will in turn ensure Nigeria achieve a digital economy that empowers youths, as well as provide sustainable jobs for them.
Now, in an era defined by technological advancement, Nigeria stands at a crucial juncture in its digital evolution. And as we navigate the complexity of this century, it is imperative to harness the power of artificial intelligence, that is AI, to drive sustainable growth, foster innovation, and empower the nation's workforce. And on the program, we will be embarking on a journey on how AI can revolutionize various sectors of the economy, its opportunities, what it presents for job creation, skills development, and economic empowerment. And to do justice to this, I have two gentlemen in the studio. One is a leadership alumni, European Training Foundation Future Skills Expert, who is also Global Certified Skills Assessor and Renewable Energy Expert with passion for promoting innovation technology and sustainable development in the effective acquisition of skills with bias to AI, augmented and virtual reality and blockchain technology solutions. Raman Mogaji, you're welcome to Business Express.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Great. Also on the program is the coordinator Tide Lab, Shamsuddin Adiroju. Shamsuddin, you've been here. Good to have you here again.
Thank you very much and welcome once again, our viewers.
Okay, good. Let me start with Raman. You just listened to the Minister of Youth talk about the need for youth to have skills. He almost went as far as saying it will be a crime for a youth not to have skills. Before now, in business circles, you hear a whole lot of people say, what do we need to grow our business from point A to point B is capital, capital, capital. But we get to realize that it's not just about capital, but the capacity to grow your business. And when we talk about capacity, we're talking about skills, and we have technological advancement that has given us opportunities to upscale whatever we're doing, talking about artificial intelligence. Mr. Rahman, where are we today? What do we need to do to get to leverage on the advantages that technology has brought to our table?
Thank you very much for having me once again. I really appreciate this topic. Actually, I've been working on skill development for the past 13 years now. Actually, technology is disrupting a lot of things. Education is changing, and technology disruption is inevitable. And for young people to be employable, they need skills. We have different transitions currently that we are looking at, both the digital and the green transition, because there's some challenges young people will face when they have been taught in the past educational system we're having. So what we are now looking at is how we can identify the skill that will be needed in future and giving young people now. And what are these skills? These are the skills relating to digital skills, as well as technology skills, vocational skills. These are key skills young people needed, because sometimes your certificate cannot guarantee you employment, but the skill you possess can give you employment. However, there are some skills that will become obsolete, while some will be created because of technology advancement. And for young people to be relevant in these 21st century challenges, they have to understand that there are some skills they have to look into. Based on what the minister said, every young people needs skills. And to achieve those skills, you also need to have this passion, because passion makes you to be able to commit yourself to acquire the skill needed. And the skill needed is also very important to know which skill will be needed in the future by the time you acquire such skills. So what we're now saying is this: the new technology, the emerging technology that's involved in now, the artificial intelligence, and the virtual reality, the blockchain technologies, these are skills needed for the future. However, what I can see to young people now is this: there are a lot of skills going on, skill development and intervention. But young people should also...
Before we come to Interventions that are available for the many young people in Nigeria. Let me hold your thoughts. Let's get to hear from Mr. Shamsuddin. Shamsuddin, like you heard from Mr. Rahman, skills, technology, and the market. And for us to achieve these three, there is need for us to change the orientation of, or particularly not just orientation, but the curricula. The way we are taught in school, talking about concentration on certificates, it has moved to a slang, permit me to use the street slang. It's not just a certificate now, it's certificate, what you can do, what you can prove. And I've seen you collaborate with agencies like the ITF, talking about Industrial Training Fund for skills acquisition, technical skills to be specific. How is that going? It's not just about what is supposed to be done, what is happening at this point in time.
Thank you very much. Once again, our moderator, and good morning, our viewers. Let me begin by stating one of the three different things that is going to shape the job for the future. If you look at Nigeria as a country, we pride ourselves with one of the countries that has abundance number of youths. So demographic shift is a factor to change our dynamics of jobs. The advancement of technology is also another factor, and of course the societal change is a factor. Everybody is tilting towards technology skills this time around, and the World Economic Forum has made us realize that 69 million jobs, 83 billion jobs will be lost in 2025, and 69 million jobs will also be created because of technology. So if you want to discuss how it's going, I think currently Nigerian youths are beginning to realize the efficacy of having important skills devoid of what is taught in the classroom. Okay. And this can be tested through a pool of applications that goes on in every of the technology skills development programs, both organized by the government and the private sector individuals. So I could say that we are rising up to that occasion of getting there to get skilled. But one of the important challenge that I see that we face, just like what the minister has mentioned, is orientation from all facets of the stakeholders that are involved in this skills development. The higher institutions, the training centers, the government, and every other stakeholder involved. I was listening to one of the HODs from one of the universities in this FCT on Friday. On day before yesterday. She was mentioning the unbundling of curriculum to ensure that it reflects what students need. And I see that that's actually a way to go. So let's begin from all our institutions of higher learning. How do we ensure that we remove all the inanities from the curriculum and also plug in those things that are needed? One of the very important things that we do when we are embarking on ITF technical skills is to understand personalities of the people that are even coming into the fora. Because by the time you understand individual personality, you are able to discover their passion, just like what Mr. Rahman said, and guide them to what is it that they need to be able to thrive in these particular skills. Okay, Mr. Shamsuddin,
let me hold your thoughts. You've made a point that there is need for the unbundling of the curricula as it is. As for Mr. Rahman, yes, you've also mentioned this, and it's something we all agree that needs to be done. But before that has been done, which might take some time, what is obtainable at this particular point in time? What are the various interventions that we have that youth can actually take advantage of away from the classroom? Mr. Rahman.
Thank you once again. Actually, there is a project we kickstart with Ehon Reality. Ehon Reality is a global company based in the US who is trying to invest in the Nigerian educational sector in the area of leveraging on technology to enhance learning. And the issue is this. Ehon is developing a artificial intelligence knowledge-based center, which they call Metaversity. And what that means? Ability to use AI and virtual reality to enhance learning, teaching, and skill development. and whereby we can teach more with less, and where government can also leverage on this technology, where the investment, the huge investment government is being made in the area of educational sector can be reduced by leveraging technology. And EON as a global organization who is also investing in education globally, we've signed in principle to invest in the Nigerian educational sector, which they have agreed in principle and which they believe that if the government key into that, they have the opportunity to benefit from the global network of that solution, where every Nigerian will have access to learning, every Nigerian will have access to knowledge, every Nigerian will also have affordability to acquire knowledge using that technology, because they leverage on that initiative to ensure that they believe that knowledge is human right. Everybody must acquire it. It's a human right. And for everyone to acquire it, it must be accessible, affordable, and available.
The infrastructure on ground for that to thrive?
Actually, the infrastructure is a global infrastructure that has been already established, which countries have been benefiting from. In South Africa, they are benefiting. In Rwanda, recently, they benefit. Senegal also benefited from Africa. But in the global arena, they start from the US and other countries in Asia. There are a lot of countries benefiting. Even China is also benefiting under that infrastructure. But the challenge we are facing concerning deployment here in Nigeria is the bottleneck, is the bureaucracy within the government sector. And I believe the current administration is really working hard, and which we believe we can leverage on the direction of the current administration and to partner with the three ministries: Ministry of Education, Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, and Ministry of Youth Development. These are the key ministries that need to work with this particular institution.
This is very good to know at this particular point in time, and we hope to see that kick off so very well. Just for want of time, Mr. Shamsuddin, and your closing thoughts, we would like to know, yes, I know you usually involve in this job and employability fair. Many have agreed that that is a way of encouraging the youth. Let youth get to know what is happening, and not just what is happening, they should get to know the opportunities and how to connect these opportunities. So how can Nigerian youth actually know these opportunities, where they can key into them and get to be part of them in 60 seconds?
Thank you very much once again. So you mentioned job and employability fair. This is an initiative that is always an annual initiative by NECA, and also another one, which is ITF and NECA Technical Skills Development Program, which the POs for this year just got contracted about last week. For youth to get connected into this opportunity, let us ensure that we get acquainted to the internet and also browse opportunities in Nigeria. Check ITF, check NECA, check private organizations like my organization, Tide Lab. An application is going to be called any moment from now for skills development in software, data analytics, UI, UX, and a couple of other things like that. It's actually a 6-month program, and I can tell everybody for free that if you pass through that program, job is something that is ready for you.
Hope you're not just telling us for free. Hope there is no also fee attached to it, as I also understand that aside ITF and NECA, we also have a NIDA coming on, and even under ITF we have the upscaling of skills program that is also ongoing. So Nigerian youth, all the youth out there, keen to these opportunities to make the economy better and make your livelihoods also better. Thank you, Mr. Shamsuddin Adiroju, as well as Mr. Rahman Mogaji. This is a conversation we will continue some other time.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Great. This is where we end today's edition of Business Express. We value your feedback, so keep the comments, observations, and suggestions coming. Be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube on NTA's channel. Business Express returns Friday at 3 p.m. Keep a date with us as you keep thinking and doing business.